There once was a boy named David. He was the youngest of 8 sons of Jesse. He wasn't the strongest of his brothers physically, but his faith in God was stronger than all of his brothers combined. At the time of our story, the Israelite army was in the middle of a battle with the Philistine army. Jesse's 3 oldest sons were members of the Israelite army and were stationed at the front of the battlefield. David wasn't old enough to join the army. He instead helped his father by watching the sheep. But one day, David ended up at the battlefield because his father told him to take food to his brothers. When David arrived in camp, he dropped off the food and ran to the battle line to find his brothers. That's when he saw the Philistines' secret weapon, a very big secret weapon. Goliath was a Philistine champion who was over 9 feet tall. As David was talking to his brothers, Goliath stepped out from the line of Philistines and shouted, "Choose one man to come and fight me. If he wins, we will be your slaves. But if I win, you will be our slaves." The Israelites were terrified. They knew they didn't stand a chance against the giant. David watched as the soldiers cowered in fear. He didn't understand why someone didn't fight Goliath and stop him from saying such mean things about the Israelites and their God. Since no one was doing anything about it, David decided he should stand up to Goliath. So David went to King Saul and said, "I want to fight Goliath." King Saul replied, "Are you crazy? Have you seen the size of Goliath? He could destroy you just by stepping on you." But David told King Saul how God had helped him kill a lion and a bear who had attacked his sheep. David said, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and bear will rescue me from the hands of Goliath." So the king said, "All right, go ahead." Saul tried to dress David in a coat of armor and put a helmet on his head and give him a sword. But David took them off and headed to a nearby stream of water where he picked up 5 smooth stones and put them in his bag. He took his sling and his staff and headed off to meet Goliath. When Goliath saw David coming up the hill toward him, he laughed and said, "This is who you chose to fight me? Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" And David said, "You may come at me with weapons and armor, but I come against you in the name of the God of Israel, whom you have defied. His power will defeat you today, and everyone in the whole world will know that we serve the only true God." Goliath moved toward David to attack him, but David wasn't afraid because he had God on his side. David took out his sling and he put one of the stones in it. He started swinging it around really fast, and then he let it go. The stone shot through the air and hit Goliath in the forehead, and he fell face first to the ground. David had won. He had beaten Goliath using only a sling and a stone, but he couldn't have done it without God's help. So remember, kids, God is stronger than anything and everything. Be like David and have faith in God, because faith can defeat giants.